Tonight we have a Namibian musician that is sure to be making waves in no time. New kid on the block, Isai Sipunga, aka 48Beerz, has recently dropped his latest premiere offering, The Lost Cratez, a project which has taken 7 years to perfect. 48Beerz, welcome. We're excited to have you.
Hey Nina, thank you for having me on the show.
How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Just a little excited, about this whole interview.
Fantastic. Well, we're happy to have you with us this evening, Isai. As I mentioned, we're considering you the new kid on the block. So just to start with and familiarize our viewers with you, who is Isai, aka 48Beerz?
Well, 48Beerz is a rapper born in Sumet. I came in Windhoek around 2009, where I pursued studies in sound engineering and also media studies. So I think following that led me to where I am now.
And you've decided on the stage name 48Beerz. It's quite interesting. So tell us the story behind that.
It's actually 48 bars, with the 316 bars. If you multiply it by 3, you get 48 bars. And bars sell beer, so I thought beers would be cooler than just bars. It also gets people going, so I like that about the name.
That's quite interesting. Isai, you've taken 7 years to perfect your first offering titled The Lost Cratez. And I don't know if you know, but the Bible says that 7 is the year of perfection. So would you say that this first offering of yours is exactly that?
Yeah, I think so, because it's also like I think it's just also part of it's aligned. So when I did it, I didn't know it was gonna be this deep. So I just decided to drop it. I felt like the time was just right to do something like that. And also it's better if people if people look at what you've done and then they give you feedback based off that, instead of just producing stuff and hiding them somewhere, and you never know what people think of it. So I decided, let me just do this and see where it takes me. And I think, yeah, it's quite deep with all the attention that it's getting from most of the hip hop heads, and not just that, also just music lovers in general, because I think it's a very unique sound. It's not as hip hop as people think it is, but then also it's so good that hip hop heads would want to play it in their cars and so on. So I like that about it.
You gave such an interesting analogy in terms of your stage name, 48Beerz, and then the title of your offering is called The Lost Cratez. So is this crates in relation to the beers? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the tracks, it's sort of in relation to the beers in a crate. So it's in one package. So this is the first crates that that's currently available. So there are a bunch of tracks that I've recorded and produced, but then some of them I just couldn't find them. And then the ones that I found, that's what you guys have currently, and that's that.
Fantastic. Tell us, have you worked with any, local artists on the Lost Cratez?
One local producer and 2 rappers, a rapper and a singer, Prince. He goes by the name of Prince, and the other rapper is Ambassador Star. And not just because I wanted to uniquely work with them, but also because, when you're coming up and you're doing your thing, not a lot of people believe in what you're doing, and not everybody really, respect you on that level first. So I've had a bunch of artists call me up and ask why I couldn't feature them and stuff. And it's not like I didn't want them to be there. It's just, it was just hard to get a feature from rappers that were already established, or just artists that were established. I did work with a couple other local artists. I'm not going to mention them now, but the song, some of those songs just didn't make it. They weren't that good because somewhere in the line, the artist just stopped showing up to the studio and stuff. So I decided to use what I had and to compile this project.
You mentioned earlier, Isai, that you identify, of course, as a hip-hop artist, as a rap artist. And then you also said with, you know, the Lost Cratez, the sound isn't your authentic or your normal hip-hop rap sound. So talk to us about that, why you chose to sort of evolutionize your sound in that way. And also, does it speak to how hip-hop has changed over the years, not only in the music scene in Namibia, but, you know, around the world?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the sound and everything, like where hip hop is currently at, it always changes. It's something that's always going to change, and you can't, as a producer and artist, you can't want to always try and keep up with where the world is headed to. You might just easily lose yourself in the process. So it's always best to try and discover a unique sound by taking some of the sounds that's there and mixing it with some of your feeling and like with the way you're feeling at the moment, and also with a little bit of direction from the genre that you're doing to create your own sound. And in this instance, we've got the sound off the Lost Cratez, where for example, I don't know if you heard the one that was produced by Elvo. That one has a sample from the Dalam Kids. So it's sort of like a dance, but also it has a dance hip hop club type of sound. And then you have sounds like Superstar. That's like also, it has like a nostalgic hip hop sound, but it's also sort of modern if you listen to the bass and also the language that we're using. So I think this is what makes me stand out from, you know, all the artists that are currently out here rapping. And it's not just because I want to blow my own horn. It's just like the direction I decided to take when I worked on this project.
That's fantastic. Now that the 7 years, you know, Love Child, the Love Cratez is out of the way, anything else you're looking forward to working to, and hopefully not, you know, for such a long time either?
Yeah, no, of course. The next, I'm currently I've started work on my new project, and I have a group of artists that I'm going to be featuring. And it's not set already, but I'm working on doing a lot of local features with producers and artists. So the Lost Cratez is just like a guideline for where I'm going to go next. But I'm definitely going to incorporate other local artists and producers as well as singers.
Fantastic. Isai, just as we round up our conversation, where can we take a listen to the Lost Cratez? Where exactly is it up?
It's currently out on all major online music stores like YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Audio Mac, and a bunch of other online music stores that are available right now. And I think the four that I've mentioned, I think everyone should be able to access them.
Fantastic.
So just look for the Lost Cratez. I don't know if for those of you that follow me on my social media, I always keep the hashtag the Lost Cratez. So if you click on that hashtag, you will find everything, including links to the different stores that are there, and also other material that I've also done in the past, like just random freestyles that I do, or just, you know, freestyling to a beat and so on.
Isai, thank you so much for joining us this evening, and all the best with the success of this album and every album that's going to follow.
All right, thank you, Nina, for having me on the show.
Well, that was new kid on the block, 48Beerz, talking to us about his latest offering, the Lost Cratez, a young Namibian artist who's taken 7 years to perfect his art and working on some more. That also wraps up today's edition of the Daily Roundup with Nina. We'll be back tomorrow, same time and place. Do join us then. Thank you so much for watching, and good night.